Alright, welcome back to another episode of
これまでのこ
Never
と
Island.
ちゃんと覚えてる？
I wake up to the sensation of the blanket being pulled away from me. It might be more accurate to see that something or someone is stopping me from trying to fall asleep. The smell of oil still lingers in the air, so it can't have been more than a few minutes since the lamp was put out. Hey, what are you doing? Diving under the covers.
バレちゃった。
You thought you could get away with it?
今夜だけ一夜限りの関係だから。
Hey, don't say weird stuff like that. It's really not something to joke about in a situation like this.
どうして？
Doesn't she get it? I'm just saying, you do regret it if I were to try something on...
せつなはそんなことしないよ。
She has way too much trust in me.
だってせつなが救いたいって言ってた人、好きな人でしょ？
Huh?
好きな人がいる人は他の人を襲ったりなんかしないよ。
I'm not too sure about her reasoning. So, you know what it means to make a move?
わかるよ。子供じゃないもん、私。
Our kids dive under other people's cupboards.
だから今夜だけ。
Meaning she wants me to let her be a kid. Just for tonight? Jeez, if I keep refusing, it'll make me look like the self-conscious one. Okay. Just for tonight. And it doesn't look like I'm getting any sleep tonight.
聞かせて。せつなの好きな人の話。
Tonight, anyway. We're not swapping gossip at the slumber party here. It's not exactly that I'm in love with her. Now I'm at it too?
嘘はダメ。
How can you tell?
せつなが、私のお兄ちゃんがね、恋人ができた時、同じようなこと言ってたから。
Gah, I hate that asshole brother of hers.
ねえ、聞かせてよ。それとも、その人のことも思い出せない？
I haven't forgotten everything. Even if her presence has disappeared from my memory, it's still etched in my heart. She still resides there even now. She saved me. Little by little, I turned that vague presence into words. I was a blank state, and she gave me a name, a place to belong, a reason for being. At first, I only wanted to repay her, that's all. But we kept butting heads right through the end. She lied to me. I lied to her. In her final days, she confessed the truth, but I wasn't able to fix my lie. I hurt her. I broke her. Irrevocably. That's why I want to save her. I'm surprised myself at all these vague half memories that keep tumbling out. But they are all that I have. The lingering wish to save a girl whose name and face I've forgotten. That's what defines who I am. It's stupid, right? To have come all the way to a place like this. Just for that. Rinne sorts of nuzzles my chest and touches my neck.
好きって気持ちは一番大切だよ。 好きな人を救いたいと思うのは当然だよ。
Does it mean you acknowledge me? Everything that I am? All the failures and missteps that make up my life?
私も同じ気持ち。
Huh?
私はこの世界が好き。だからこの世界を救いたい。
I don't know much about the island, but I've met all kinds of people here over the past couple of days. There's a girl concerned for the future, who reigns over the highest stratum. Adults, forbidden from looking up at the sky, desperately toiling for their daily sustenance. Children, driven away to a rubbish heap, forced into a life of precariousness and uncertainty. Society is a system, and all systems deteriorate and eventually crumble. All that the people living in the system can do is carry on acting out the roles they've been assigned. If that's true, then the ones who are actually in a position to save the world is those who generally can wish for it to be saved. Those who stand outside the system. Hey Rinne, why is it that you love this world? One had called it one giant heap of dung. Karen's lost all hope. Even Sara, who claims she wants to save the island, despises the system which controls it. Rinne belongs to that same system. So why does she...
私もセツナと同じだよ。この世界はね、私に名前と居場所とここにいる理由をくれたの。ただ、それだけだよ。
So what? Those are all just part of normal life, right? But I'm different. Wherever I go, I'm a wanderer, an outsider, the black sheep.
同じなんだよ、セツナと。
Meaning, you're not normal? You don't belong to the system?
13年前から新しい札が作られなくなったって話、覚えてる？
Yeah.
私が生まれる予定だった日はね、札の発行が終わる翌月だったの。
What? But you're...
お母さんが頑張ってくれたんだって。たくさん食べて、栄養をとって、毎日教会に行ってお祈りもして。
These colors, they're the next most important thing to people after their lives. Her mother obviously wished with all her might that her child might be given a normal life.
そうして私が生まれたのは、札の発行が終わる日の真夜中。
So you made it in time? Rinne silently takes my hand and puts it on her neck. I feel metal beneath my fingers, cold and hard to the touch.
私が最後の一人。この札が最後に作られた一枚。
So it's a gift from this world. To her, it's a treasure like no other. That's why she loves this world more than anyone else, and...
だから本当はね、私はここにはいないはずの人間なんだ。
That's why she sees its fault more than anyone else.
私が生まれた後のアイランドは大変なことになったの。
Sara told me. People pressed the church for more new colors. There were riots. I very much doubt they just conceded. They were parents wanting happiness for their own children after all.
教会のやり方に反対する人たちは、アバロンって名前の抵抗組織を作って、教会と戦い始めた。たくさん人が死んだの。いつもどこかで銃声が聞こえてた。腐った生ゴミみたいな匂いがそこら中でしてた。
Rinne's nails sink into my hand. Wasn't the church just using the color issue as an excuse to murder people? It must have been tough every time someone died, bearing the weight of that color on her neck. It's a gift from this world, but at the same time, it's a shackle that has bound her since birth.
お父さんもその戦いに巻き込まれて死んじゃった。
Oh. If I were in her shoes, I probably wouldn't be capable of laying out facts so calmly.
爆弾にやられて、顔も半分以上なくなってて。でも、私には一目でお父さんだって分かった。
If I were in her shoes, I wouldn't be able to accept the truth. And even if I could, I highly doubt I could say that I love this world.
教会とアバロンが和解して戦いが終わったのが、今から5年前。 アバロンが出した停戦条件はね、アイランドの解放。
Liberation?
アイランドの外に自由に出るのを認めることだよ。アバロンは信じてたの。外の世界には理想郷があるって。食べ物に不自由しない、札もいらない世界があるって。
The Holy Land, huh?
そう。教会の教えにもあるから。教会はアバロンの要求を拒否しきれなかったんだって。でも、要求をそのまま飲むこともできなかった。教会は23人の遠征隊を募って聖地を探すことにした。でも、誰も帰ってこなかった。1年経っても、2年経ってもね。
So either you finally reached the Holy Land, or...
結局、この世界は何も変わらなかった。ただ戦いが終わっただけ。
That was the answer, I'm sure. Avalon was simply a fantasy dreamt up by people who'd been driven into a corner. They fought each other, killed each other for that fantasy. I see. So there are plenty of reasons why this is a shitty world. Plenty of reasons for disappointment.
だから、ね。
Sorry, even still.
私たちで変えよう。未来。
She's not giving up. Yeah, of course. Like hell we're going to give up. Like hell we're going to fall down halfway.
セツナもいつか子供が欲しいって言ってたよね。
She wraps her arms tight around my back. I suppose. And why are you bringing that up all of a sudden?
きっと、もうすぐそんな世界が来るよ。
I see. So that's what she means. You simply can't raise children here. But we need children to carry on our wishes. Like this kid. Entrusted by her ancestors with a technology that might save the world.
ランランララン、アイランジャー。戦え、愛を守るため。
Oh no, not that again! But it's true. You and I are the only ones truly capable of loving this shitty world. Then let's fight. Let's fight for love. Or something like that, I guess.
ランランララン、アイランジャー。
Champion of the Loads! Rinne Pink!
なにそれひどい。
It's better than being a lover of curry.
カレーは美味しいもん。
Then you be yellow!
セツナのバカ、首。
No! Back then, we were still just two regular people, chattering pointlessly while stuffed under a raggedy old blanket. Finally, she think my lips is too hot! But at the hopes we expressed back then, they have the power to change the world someday. That's what I wish for with all my heart. You do too, don't you, Rinne? That weird slash at the top of the E? The Akashic records. A compendium of all that exists in the world. Like a cross between a historical account and a prophecy. The past, the present, the future. It's said that every event in history occurs in accordance with the Akashic records. The first time I heard of it, I thought it was a ludicrous concept. People's day-to-day lives, the motions of the stars, even the creation and death of the universe. Every little detail is written down somewhere. No way that's possible. It would have to be a simply unfathomable amount of data. Who would even read it? Would God flick through its pages, filing to himself like he was reading a manga? No way that's possible. But the older I've become, the more I've started to entertain the possibility of its existence. Life is surprisingly routine. Wake up in the morning and go to work, eat, take a dump, take a bath, sleep, rinse and repeat. See, you can sum it all up in one sentence. It might only take a single sheet of paper to record my entire life, for all I know. You could try dramatizing the story a bit, and still it wouldn't exceed the length of a regular novel. Even then, you'd be able to fit 5 people's lives on a single floppy disk. 2,000 people on one CD, 300,000 on one DVD, 20 million on one Blu-ray. This world of ours is surprisingly tiny. It wouldn't be all that strange if God had created the Akashic records in his spare time, just for fun. If he had. Would that make the world nothing more than data to be processed? Just as the plot of any given movie never changes, and the staff credits always roll after 2 hours, we will also reach the end of some set path when the time comes. But the same events repeat themselves if we press replay. Some interpretations would suggest so, others wouldn't. It's the latter that interests me more. It could be that the Akashic records aren't just meant to be read, like a CD-ROM, but are more like a rewritable CDR. And once the data has been read through to the end, the records are rewritten. Then, the next time that they're played through, events will work out a little differently than they did before. That's right. We're talking reincarnation. According to this thinking, when people die, the soul endures and returns to the Akashic records. It waits there for some time, and when that period has elapsed, you reappear in this life with the same soul. You don't keep your memories from your past life, of course. Your name, your face, and even your sex might change. But you do be connected some way or other. You do still bear the same role, the same fate that you did in your past life, the same karma. It's like a bond, a tether to your past self. Here, I'm able to find meaning in a life of routine for the first time. Here, it might be possible for me to achieve what I was unable to do back then, to fulfill the mission I couldn't. When that happens, I'll be released from the loop. For the first time, my soul will be saved. But back to my main point. The Akashic Records, the system that underpins everything in this world. I wrote the salvation for every living soul. So far, so good. The problem is what lies outside that system. If there were some entity overseeing the Akashic Records, I wonder what they do think of it all. Outside of the system, the past, present, and future are all of equal value. A simple gesture, lifting the needle from the record and placing it elsewhere, enables you to retrieve any past data you want at any time. Instead that those who ought to have been freed from the system would still find themselves imprisoned. Wouldn't they see the defects in the system before them? Wouldn't they turn their noses up at this little dollhouse of a world? Wouldn't they consider just destroying it all? Removing the record from the player and smashing it to pieces? Or maybe, mightn't they regret it? Wouldn't they regret being stuck outside of the system? Not again!
確かセツナはこのボタンを。
Nope! Again!
セツナ、起きて起きて。
Groggily, I rise from the bed. I'm awake. As if I could sleep with that alarm clock blaring right next to my ear.
ごめん。
It's alright. Come on, pass it over.
いつもありがとう。
No problem. It's not stopping. Is it broken? Well, given how beat up it is, it's a miracle it's still working at all. There's nothing for it. Last resort! It's finally stopped.
さすがセツナ。機械博士だね。私の次くらいに。
Nah. I just took out the batteries. Oh! Do we have a lamp on top of us sitting with a brilliant idea? In my hand are some familiar looking manganese batteries. Why didn't I realize it before? These batteries, they're still usable.
そうか。
They turned to each other, smiling broadly.
やったねセツナ。これで動かせるよ。カセットプレイヤー。
Yeah! Cassette player! Hooray! They readily take out the cassette player and set the batteries.
大きくて入らないかも。
I hope not! Oh yeah, we were looking for AAAs, but this alarm clock uses AAs. It's a shame they're the wrong size.
待って、電圧は。あ、同じだ。じゃあうまくつなげば動かせるかも。
Oh! Oh, she's pretty reliable in times like these.
導線はどこだっけ？こっちじゃなくて。あれ、こっちでもなくて。
Rinne starts turning the room upside down for some reason. Then after making a mess of the room...
あ、この間使い切っちゃったんだった。
Damn it! Maybe she's not so reliable after all. But then...
じゃあ、買い出しに行こう。朝一に何か出てるかも。
Dynamic is there this morning, I see.
お金よし。おじいちゃんに頼まれてた買い物リストもバッチリ。準備完了。
I'm about to say I'll tag along too, but sorry. I've got work. I can't join you. It's sad. Despite all my lofty talk of seeing the world, I'm just another working staff. As an adult, as an upstanding member of this society, there's just no way I can change my priorities.
知ってるよ。だから昨日みたいに途中まで一緒に行こう。あれ、どうしたのセツナ？
Nothing. I was just thinking how put together you are.
もちろんだよ。もう大人だからね。
Rinne pops out her chest. The room behind her in total disarray. Though you can't be a bit sloppy sometimes.
そんなことないもん。わよ。
And you're a horrible sleeper. You're all over the place. I was in the verge of choking a few times last night. Rinne's put out expression looks every part of that of a child's. I'm sure it's growing up in these times that's given her this attitude. One that so often puts her elders to shame. If she lived in a world of peace, freedom, and hope, she might well have been born with a very different character. Can you imagine? Alright, I'm giving it my best shot today.
頑張ろうね。
Thanks. Fighting to make a living for myself.
違うよ。
Yeah, I know. We're fighting to create a world where everyone is free to be themselves. I'm sure I could be true to myself as well in a world like that. We're finally in the commercial district.
大丈夫？少し休憩する？
Nah, I'm fine. We're only halfway there. I steady my breathing and readjust my rucksack. There's still another set of stairs after that church. I can't wear myself out here.
そういえば、セツナの配属先ってどこなの？
Oh.
皿洗いって言ってたから、公共区のモーリス記念病院とか？
Yeah, that's it. What you said. Though it sounds like I've ever seen or heard of the place before.
大変だよね、病院は。最近栄養失調で入院する人が増えてるって聞くし、配給はちゃんと栄養を考えてあるはずなんだけどね。
Then why are people getting malnourished?
多分だけど、こっそり札なしをかくまってるんじゃないかな。
Like you? When she first found me, some random colorless from God knows where, Rinne generously shared her bread with me. And that wasn't the only time. I may have found a job, but I'm not receiving rations yet. Even the packed lunch in my rucksack must have come from the family's emergency stores. And their one wouldn't even take the money I tried to hand them last night. Oh yeah, they better give this to you before I forget. I take out the money left in my pocket and stuff it into Rinne's hand.
いいよいいよ、こんなに。
You're going shopping later, aren't you? Just give the change to Nirwan if there's too much.
ありがとう。
Sorry, by the way. Jeez, this kid's just way too nice. Someday some asshole's going to scam her. She'll give everything up for him and get dust aside. Oh, I don't know, maybe I'm boring too much. But my situation with Rinne at the moment is getting pretty close to that. Yeah, I really don't want to be that asshole. Feeling someone's gaze on me, I turn around. But all I see is the entrance to a dimly lit alleyway.
どうしたの？
Nothing. I just feel like somebody's watching me.
あ、お金は使うとき以外はね、あんまり外で見せない方がいいよ。
Oh, sorry about that.
ごめんね。私も言い忘れてたから。
It might look peaceful at first glance, but the island was rife with conflict until just 5 years ago. Even now, it's a place of suffering and poverty. I have to watch my back. I'm going up. How about you?
私は市場を見てくから、ここでお別れだね。
Honestly, I feel nervous leaving her in such an unsafe place. I'd do stick right by her if I could. But that would make me an asshole. I have things I need to do, and they're necessary not just so I can protect my own way of life, but hers too.
お弁当、ちゃんと食べてね。元気が出るよ。
Okay, sorry for always relying on you for this stuff. Instead of saying goodbye, I gave her a beheaded head another rub.
お仕事頑張ってね、せつな。
Okay, I will. What a nice kid. I want to quit already.
何言ってるんですか、せつなさん。まだまだこれからですよ。次は10分後に第2聖堂、そして最後には大聖堂が控えています。
There are loads of mass services today, and it's Sara's turn to deliver all the sermons. I was convinced that sermons were stuffy, formal things, but I didn't think my expectations would be so readily betrayed. My job is to hold off the crazy Sara devotees and keep them from getting too close to her. Where on earth do these groupies come from? I wanted to ask them why they weren't at work, but the guard who came over to help told me that people can't take the day off when there's mass. This world might be freer and more peaceful than I thought.
それで、もしよろしければ感想などお聞かせいただければと。
Go ahead. But that's...
いかがでしたでしょうか、私の説教は。
Oh, that's what she means. I wasn't able to hear all of it with the shrill voices drowning her out. From what I could hear, I think she was mainly talking about the island's origins. Long ago, the nations of the globe prospered. The small skirmishes kept erupting, and was generally a time of peace. But that period of peace would not last forever. We were plunged into an age of sleep. The first to act was a great empire far to the north. Struck with famine and cold, they prepared to venture south. They invade the prosperous nation that lay across the border. Similar wars broke out across every land. The nations of the earth were torn apart, and the world was eventually divided into a handful of powerful blocks. It was after coming this far that people finally realized. Simply stealing from one another doesn't solve anything. Every country threw everything they had against the intensifying chill. One nation tried to create a second sun here on Earth. another looked into colonizing other planets. Others fell into ruin as they scrambled together reckless plans of action. Among them was the Eurasian Union, which chose to wait out the cold. In their attempt to weather the Ice Age, they built a giant underground shelter. As they decided who should live in the shelter, however, they fell to infighting. Anarchy descended on the Eurasian Union, and it is said that pillage and slaughter ran rampant. In fact, by the time, it's doubtful that there were any nations left on planet Earth. Those who managed to survive escaped into the neglected island and closed up the gate to prevent outside invasion. They were the ancestors of the island's current residents.
人と人との争いによってこの星は一度滅びかけました。このアイランドは人類にとって最後の砦なんです。
That's why those of us alive today must not repeat the same mistakes. We mustn't descend into meaningless conflict again. That about sums up Sara's sermon. I got too fast. Okay, back to keyboard. Sara's lecture was logically explained. Easy even for someone as clueless about the island's history as me to follow. But it was all so neat. That's undeniably the reason why the story sounds a little made up. Humanity's last frontier, huh? I look over to the rear of the chapel. Situated there is the gate mentioned in her sermon, the one that connects the island to the outside world. The gate has been under the church's jurisdiction since its inception. It's never been opened, except when the exploration team was dispatched 5 years ago. Is the outside world really destroyed?
と言いますと?
What if there's still a country somewhere on this planet that's flourishing right now? Or failing that, another shelter like the island?
アバロンですね。
Ah, that's right. This kind of wishful thinking is how the fantasy of Avalon was born.
確かに私だって信じたいです。アバロンの存在を。人はそんなに愚かではないのだ。と。
That's right. People are supposed to be smart. We're smart enough to master multiple languages, fly all over the world, and communicate with others who hold all sorts of different perspectives.
ですが人は今日まで争うことしかしてきませんでした。
At first, there were great wars between the nations, then civil war, and then those same conflicts were repeated on this tiny island. How far must we go before people are able to live hand in hand? Even if there were just 2 people left on Earth, would we still find it impossible to understand one another? I guess so. That's why I'm here. I was never able to see what was right in front of me. In the end, we weren't able to just talk with each other and accept each other. I was a fool, but...
もっとも、過去を嘆いたところで何も始まりません。だからこそ今、思いを一つにする必要があるんです。
She's right. There's still time. The world hasn't ended just yet.
私たちは今、分岐点に立っているんです。
We've reached this point through mistake after mistake. Humanity's last frontier. The island Eurasia. If we can make it out of this present situation, we can take the future in our hands. By saving this tiny little island, we can save the world. Right! In that case, I shall dub D Sara Blue!
Sara Blue とは?
Blues are always reliable thinkers. You should become the island's model citizen and guide everyone else here.
はい?
Speak up! You think I'll make it as a blue with that kind of resolve?
はい!
Right, that's better. It's the side chapel next. I Rangers, move out!
さっきか からそれは何なのでしょう。
It's something that Rinne taught me. To always stay positive no matter the situation. If we do that, we can save the world. Happy Valley, number 7 blue.
なんて歌を歌ってるんですか？
Nothing, just the great song of the big breasts.
さすがに少し疲れました。
Alright, so I'm gonna call this an episode.
ほら。